What's going on, everyone? This is Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf, and we are talking round 3 DFS for the Houston Open. Craig, you called Sam Burns yesterday.
Yeah,
How do you feel about
every
that?
once in a while you find what do they say? Blind squirrel finds a nut.
Yeah.
No, so Sam Burns got lucky on that one, but one of the things that I brought up yesterday was he had a crazy, looking back at his 2020 data, he had a crazy split from his early rounds, late rounds, and we kind of predicted that the
Yeah.
early rounds were going to be better. So, I looked at that a little bit. It wasn't huge for all the guys that I'm going to be bringing up today, but it was something I did just look into. Maybe we'll keep looking there, and if we keep finding things, then we'll roll with
Get some
it.
leverage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So scoring, overall was a little bit easier than Thursday. Do you think it's just kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with the course?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
And where do you see it playing out kind of the rest Saturday and
it
Sunday?
also
Kind of in the
it might
1 to 2
it might be
range?
pins. It might be like it seemed like it was almost a
Yeah.
bit firmer on
Right.
Thursday, where like people,
Right.
or maybe they just didn't have a good feel for how firm it was going to be, so they went at some pins they shouldn't have. Or these greens
Yeah.
rounds are still just a mess. Like you see people making
Yeah.
big numbers out there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the one other thing, we're not quite done round 2. We're on Charles Schwartzel watch. He has the 2 putt to
yeah,
make
did you
the
see his
weekend.
shot tracker?
I didn't, but I
Well, like he
I kind of
he so he's the only person left with anything to finish. He's on the cut
yeah.
line, and he like it's a par three. He's finishing on 9.
Oh man, he's on
He's
9.
hit his tee shot, and then he like didn't putt out. I don't know what the decision making process was, but
So if you're cashing in your round 2 showdown, you have to wait until
yeah.
Schwartzel finishes his
Yeah.
putts.
No, but we did see a bit of a split again, AM PM, like we
Yeah,
predicted. It looks like it's about a half stroke. I think that,
right.
our weather tomorrow, it's similar similar to today. It's
Right.
not going to be, it's going to be about 80, 82, I think is the high. Wind is calm, but I think it's just the firmness. As it gets firmer through the day, I think it's still going to
Yeah.
play harder.
The heat, yeah, dries it out, gets a little bit more
But then
firm.
it brings a lot of balance to Showdown because you have all your guys who are playing the best right now in the best form playing when it's going to be the
Yeah,
hardest. So I don't
for
expect
sure.
it's going to continue to be a half stroke, but yeah. Um,
Let's get into our picks. Harold Varner III is my first pick, 8,500 on DraftKings. He is not 9 under. He is 2
He'd be
under.
pretty happy to be 9 under.
Yeah. 67 in round 1, 71, 6 birdies, 4 bogeys. He's just got a really solid game TD Green right now. He's plus 3.38, which is fifth, but he's losing strokes on the green. So minus 0.57. That's kind of like my tried and true showdown kind of theory
That's
is
the
if they
basic
can.
one, I feel like.
Yeah, that's 100. We're level 100 right now. If they're going well tee to green and they can keep that up, which is more less volatile than putting, and they can have a good day on the greens, they're more likely to improve in their current standing. So Harold Varner's kind of checking those boxes, and I really like him for Saturday. I just think his game is very complete except for that little bit on the greens.
Yeah, so I rostered him in a few tournament long DFS
Mhm.
plays, and so he backed up a bit early on in the day, and then I think he made a birdie or two to I don't know how far he ended up. I don't know if he got to -1 or if he was even at some point. I want to say
Right.
maybe just -1, but as I saw, like I think he was 2 over at one point through however many holes,
Yeah.
and I was just like, man, is he
Right.
going to do the same thing he did last week and just eject out of this tournament? But then he pulled it back,
Yeah.
and so yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like him a lot going into the weekend.
All right. Who's your first
So
play?
my first one, so based on what I was saying, with it potentially playing easier first thing in the morning, what I've
Right.
pulled for you here are 3 guys. I think like there's a lot of guys who are playing well this week that I like, but these are guys
Yeah.
like of the first 20-ish guys out on the course who I think there's still reasons to like them, even though they're at +3 or +2 or something. But first one here, Cameron Davis. He comes in at 9,100 on DraftKings, which is expensive for a guy that made the cut on the line.
No kidding, yeah.
He was 67 on Thursday. Looked like he was going to be in good shape to contend this week, and then he tried his best to miss the cut with a 76 today.
Man, did he ever? No birdies today, I believe. A few bogeys. It was tough sledding today.
He was 6 bogeys, no birdies today. So, but still, first day he was 6 birdies, 3 bogeys. So the guy makes a lot of birdies. I was looking through his strokes gain data. He is +3, just over +3 strokes gain ball striking, and about 2, he's lost about just over 2, almost 2.5 in the short game. So, the ball striking provides us with a fairly safe baseline of the type of player he is, and hopefully he tidies it up a bit. But then the other thing, similar to Sam Burns yesterday, I looked at his early late splits from last year. Mm-hmm. He's over 0.7 better from early compared to late, but then like I said yesterday, there's about a 0.1 as the PGA Tour average, the early stroke. Right. So anyways, he is about 0.6 better compared to the average player in terms of early. So I just think there's so much potential for him to go out there early and go a little bit crazy in terms of scoring.
Yeah, I mean, you never quite know. I mean, that we kind of talked about Cameron Davis leading up to the tournament. It's like he can't put 4 rounds together. So maybe Friday was just his one kind of blow up, and he's going to continue Thursday through the weekend. But I don't know. I got him in tournament long lineups, and I hope he improves. But I didn't like what I saw today.
Yeah. And there's a lot of reasons not to. But I also think his ownership will, because he was playing late, so his price didn't come down. I think his ownership will be low at that price.
Yeah. From ball striker to ball striker to ball striker, Corey Connors is my second pick. He's 78 on DraftKings. He had a 69 on Thursday, 67 today. He's 4 under, 7 birdies, 3 bogeys. I mean, just really clean and looking good all around. I mean, there's nothing really to fault him. It just seems like that guy that when he's playing well, he plays really well. And when he's hitting the ball well, he's hitting the ball as good as anyone. So Thursday, +3.5 on strokes gained tee to green. Friday, still really good, +2. So, I mean, he's just playing incredible right now. I don't see him having a dip at all. And I think at 7,800, like below average, I'm just going to ride the hot hand. He might be... A few of my picks are a little bit chalky, but I don't know. I really like him going into the weekend.
Yeah, that 67 today, too, he was in the harder end of it. So that's pretty close. I haven't looked to see what the lowest, I don't know if anyone got to -4, 66 in the late wave, but I know, Sam Burns was early, and then I know there was a couple -4s in the early, but Corey Connors was one of the rounds of the day out there.
Yeah, exactly.
My next one here, another guy at +3, Zach Johnson, 8,400 on DraftKings. He was 73 the first day, 70 the second day. He's made 7 birdies, 7 bogeys, and a triple. And so I was looking through his recent history back to the restart, and he's got some crazy average. He's like under 68. His average score in his third round, like it was this crazy thing where I was like, every time he made the cut, it's like there was one that was an ugly number, like a 75, but everything else, I think the next lowest was 68, and he had a 61. It was just like, it was a little bit surprising to me that it would be so consistent that his Saturday round, maybe he's just like, I cashed my check, I can go out there, or I'm getting a check, I can
play a little bit loose.
But anyway, so I just, if there's a trend there, we'll see if it continues. But then I thought it was funny because I was like, so he just made the cut. He's tied for 12th in greens in regulation, and he's 12th in strokes gained putting. So like, what is the problem? Like, where is he? If he's hitting the greens and he's putting well,
taking the putts.
His triple, it was on one of these green surrounds, and he chipped, and it looked like twice it came almost back to his feet. So he had, that's your, otherwise he'd be even and in very good spot in this tournament. But a triple like that will.
Yeah, I like Zach Johnson. I played him today. He had a birdie streak for me today. I think he was 2 over pretty early on his round. I'm like, oh, this showdown ticket's kind of toast. But he had a birdie streak later, completely redeemed himself, made the weekend. I mean, he was a guy I was looking at to see his pricing for tomorrow because, like you said, he goes out early. He's great with his long irons. I mean, just one kind of big blemish on the scorecard could be very different for him. So
Yeah, he's also like this type of course. He's a tactical player, you know. So
yeah.
you think that he's going to do pretty well the more he gets a chance to get a feel of the course.
Yeah, completely agree.
Speaking of tactical players,
My last pick, Jason Day, 7,300 on DraftKings. So if you look at the bottom there, I just couldn't believe it when I clicked on his name for Saturday's Showdown. So I went and looked back. He's 9,000 for the tournament. Then he got priced to 8,300 for the Thursday round one. Then got priced down again for Friday at 79. And then they're like, nope, we got to go lower for J Day. We're going 7,300 for Saturday. I don't know if the person who's pricing like got burned on his withdrawal like
yeah,
at the CJ Cup.
there's like he's more likely to withdraw now.
They're like, I'm going to make Jason Day as chalky as possible. He's 73, and then everyone's complaining. You know what? I don't even care if he's chalky. It just doesn't make sense for how well he's playing. He's such a strong player around the greens, like just throughout his career, and that's something that I've been kind of keen on into Friday and again into Saturday. I think it's a worthwhile stat.
Well, and especially I think he's good in these tight lie situations that you get so much here.
Yeah.
And some guys can be good around the greens, but not necessarily good at that. Like you don't have the margin of error you do when you're taking it out of rough.
Yeah, exactly. So, super clean. He's 67, 68. He's 5 under. He has 9 birdies, a bogey, a double bogey. His strokes gained tee to green for the tournament, plus like an average, plus 2.94. I mean, just like really good across the board. I just don't foresee a withdrawal or like a blow up. Just plug him in, be different elsewhere, maybe leave some salary on the board, but I don't know. It seems pretty obvious.
Yeah,
to me.
so you kind of got to it there. The one thing I would say is that make sure you do target like someone who you think is going to be absurdly low owned.
Completely overlooked.
And it gets harder once we're through the cut line to find those guys that are like, you know, they're going to be a percent or two. But just I would say don't stack him and then get a bunch of stars and end up right on the salary cap because you're going to have, first off, you're going to have probably a duplicated lineup. And second off, you're going to like, where are you getting leverage on people?
I think he's going to be between 40, 50, maybe 50 plus possibly owned. I might just make one with him, make one without him, and then my one without him I feel like is going to be half leverage on the field, but the one with him I'm just going to ride with him. Be different elsewhere.
Okay, my last one here. He's a guy, I think I brought him up last week a few times, both tournament long as a sleeper and then as a showdown play. Max Homa, 6,700. He was one of these guys that actually did better today than he did yesterday. He's +2, so he's not going to be the first one out of the gate, but he is going to be fairly early. He's made an eagle today. He's got 6 birdies, 8 bogeys, 1 double. He is another one of these guys who has a very nice early-late split.
Right.
He's up over 6, so adjusted for the PGA average, it's over a half
Still a half stroke.
So if we continue to see this, then there's I just think it's another reason to plug him in. This tournament, last week I got into a lot where Max Homa, up until Bermuda last week, he had been on a very ugly streak, and if you look back over the course of the last year, his numbers should have been in the top end of that Bermuda field, but he had just been, since the restart, his game's been in a bad place. And so, I still think that's true. I think we're going to start to see more and more of these, first off cuts made, but then positive finishes. And the one thing I said, even still last week, his strokes gain off the tee is sort of like he's positive. He had been positive very consistently. He's been positive both days today, about a stroke each day. So, he's 12th in strokes gained off the tee. Strokes gained everywhere else, so approach and short gain.
Crazy.
He was -3 almost on Thursday, and then plus over 2 today. So, if the big one is approach, around the green and putting, that's going to be a bit volatile because putts fall.
Right,
it makes a
of
huge
course.
difference, and they don't, then it makes a huge difference. But, he was very negative on approach Thursday, and then he was slightly positive today. So if that continues, then I just think he's going to continue to move up the leaderboard, which is really what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's a huge rebound, and it's a price. I mean, really attractive price at 6,700.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see if Early can get it done. Then he's. I had a hard time finding cheaper guys down there because I think so often, I look at the cheaper guys who are in contention in the tournament. I'm like, man, this guy's playing so well right now. I really want to plug him in. So he might be one that people aren't. Not everyone's looking at.
For sure, love it. Okay, this weekend we got a bunch of things going on. Like we said, we kind of teased yesterday, our 2020 Masters preview podcast will be out this weekend. Subscribe. Links are below, Apple, Spotify, everything. And then we're going to post our Masters DFS model on our website this weekend. Craig, tell us a little bit about what people can use the model for, what they can see there.
Yeah, so I mean, the Masters model, we haven't had a lot of tournaments in the last little bit where it's been at the course it's always at, and we have lots of strokes gained data and have really the ability to get predictive information. But the Masters, we of course do. So, we got a full 15 years of strokes gained, Masters played with strokes gained data going into it. So what I've done is use what people were doing going into those tournaments to try to come up with building a profile for what type of golfer is going to do good here. So it has that information in there as the model. And then in addition to that, you'll be able to see, previous Masters finishes, what they've been doing of recently. So finishes in the last, I'll figure out what's a good number of tournaments to have in there, but so that it doesn't get too much, but then typical strokes gain data.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So that's on our website, grandstandgolf.com. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really does mean a lot. Like the button. If you like our videos, it means a lot to us as well. So thank you for watching. Good luck in the weekend. Good luck on Saturday.
Yeah. Good luck, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.